Hi, it's Anne Marie, and I'm here this morning with Eric Daw of Omni-Fitt. And Eric, we're just going to have a bit of a conversation about your business. So tell me how you got started.
Yeah, so I would say I primarily work with seniors, as you know, and about I've been a personal trainer for years, and about 10 years ago, I had a client of mine who I was seeing regularly say to me, "Hey, I think you'd be really good, Eric, if you work with seniors." And I said, "I'm not so interested. That's not something that I was really interested in doing." But it's funny that as I thought about it, and as I thought about the opportunity of working with seniors and how many of them are out there, I said, you know what, maybe this is something I need to consider. So I actually went to visit and see what her grandparents, the same clients they were in a retirement home, and I went to see what kind of things they did for exercise. And it
Right.
just prompted me to say, hey, this is something that I could do also.
Wow. So when you say seniors, what sort of of people are you dealing with?
Yeah, so typically most of the people I work with are probably in their 70s, 80s, and even older than 90s. However, I've also made come to realize it's not just about them, but it could be even people that are preparing for retirement. So it could even be people in their late 50s or early 60s or preparing for retirement, or even people all the way up to their 90s.
Okay, that's great. So what motivates you to do what you do? What drives your success?
Yeah, I think the biggest motivator is this the huge change you can make in people's lives. So I had an experience recently where I was working with a lady in the States, and she actually had a lot of weight to lose. She's probably about 265 pounds.
Okay.
And over a year, and it was great working with her because over a year we worked together. We actually got to the point where she was 188. So
Wow.
biggest reason why I love working with seniors is that, or people like that, is that when you can see how just the simple fact of working with them, how it can play such a huge role in their life, how they live their life and the quality of life. Like for that lady, she couldn't put her shoes on without a device. She needed to buy something to put her shoes
Yeah.
on. So you could see how her losing the weight, it allowed her to now be able to be a lot more independent, but it was able to for her to do something that she couldn't do before, was keep up and play with her grandkids the way she wanted to.
Wow. Well, that's an amazing story. So what kind of feedback do you get from your customers? What do they say they like most?
Gosh, I would say for me, the biggest feedback I say in terms of how I'm able to what I'm able to do when I work with them is that how it improves their life. One, it's an hour or whatever time I spend with them um, that it's something that they can enjoy. I try to make it as fun as possible too.
Right.
Fun is enjoyable, but at the same time, they can see how they can see the health benefits from it. So it's not just like me giving them cod liver oil that it tastes bad or Buckley's that tastes bad. They know it's good for them. Like what's the tagline for Buckley's? It's good for you, even though it tastes terrible. But mine, I think I make it good for you, but also fun at the same time. That's what I think the biggest feedback I get.
Oh, that's great. That's an amazing testament to your success. So at this point in time, what are your goals for the coming year? What are you thinking about?
Ah, gosh, I would say for me, the projects that I've been really inspired to work on the most are the client that I mentioned before. Her name is Andrea. Clients that really have really big goals, like whether they
Right.
lose 50 pounds or 100 pounds, or they really want to, they have really big goals of saying, hey, I want to stay in my house. I want to be more independent. People that have really big goals or things along those lines are things that really inspire me. Or those are the type of people that I really are inspired to work with. So those are the type of work I'm looking for more than anything else.
That's the type of client you're looking for.
Mhm.
So whereabouts do you live in Toronto?
I do live in Toronto, so I live in Toronto, but it's weird. My clients could technically be anywhere because I work online and in person too.
Okay, so you do both online and in person.
Yes.
That's good to know. And other than working out with clients, what do you like to do in your spare time?
Great question. And it surprises people all the time. So I've been taking salsa classes, salsa lessons for
Uh-huh.
last about a year and a half, 2 years. So I like to do that also. So I've gotten to the point now that I assist in the school that I go. I also assist and help in the school also. So as a helper slash
Right.
assistant. So yeah, that's what I like to do. That's another thing that I like to do outside of just doing what I do as a profession.
Yeah, well, it takes a lot of coordination also, so I'm sure
You
that
know, yeah.
that your fitness helps. So, do you have anything going on right now in terms of a promotion or anything for your business?
Promotions, not really. About a month or two ago, I had a seminar about currently right now I don't, but I would say I had a online seminar all about how to improve your balance for seniors. But currently, as of right now, no events really going on at this point.
Okay, okay, no problem. And what's the best way for customers to find you?
Gosh, they can go to my website at www.omni-fitt.com, and all my contact information is there, or they can just literally send me an email at info@omnifitt.com, or just call me. My phone number is there too, 416-450-089. Call me. Text me any way you can reach me. My information is all on the website though, so that's an easy way to reach me also.
Okay, okay, that's great. So if you were talking to somebody about starting a business now, it doesn't have to be a fitness business, but a young person or somebody doing a transition in life, what would your advice be to them?
Gosh, I would say, first of all, I think there's a big misconception that a lot of people, when I hear people that start a business, they think, oh, I can make my own hours. Or, I don't have to worry, I can be my own boss. I would first say to them is that come to realize that working for yourself is sometimes just as, if not harder, than working for somebody else. Two,
Sure.
you have to also realize that when you go into it, it has to be something you're looking at it not just as the only reason you're doing it is for monetary reasons. Because if that's the only reason you do something, it's probably when times get tough or when things don't go as well as you would like them to, you're probably not going to stick it out. So for number one, I would say first, figure out what you want to do. What is your purpose for doing it? And then two, try to find a way to get yourself as credible as possible. Don't just be
Right.
until you make it. Try to make yourself as credible as possible when you're taking courses or certification or whatever. And then also realize why, when times get tough, the reasons behind why you began to do this thing to the beginning. That's what I would say for anybody starting a business. That would be the first thing I would say to them.
So did you see your business change a great deal during the pandemic? Like, had you been in person before that?
Yeah, like I have a video that I show people all the time about what my business was like before COVID. I did programs where I went into a lot of the places in Toronto, a lot of areas around Toronto, and I went and I used to carry and lug all this equipment. I used to lug the equipment, the weights, the everything, and I used to go and I'll be honest with you, I don't miss those
You
times
don't
at
miss that
all.
at all.
At all. I don't. I used to carry a whole bunch of equipment. I used to carry it in my car, my this, and I used to go all these different places. And you know what? My business has changed the most by by this introducing virtual programs. Like I
Yeah.
never had that before. And now I teach 3 times a week a virtual program where I have people that come on, sometimes 8 to 12 to 15 people at a time, and I can teach them
Hmm.
all at the same time, which has created new opportunities.
Yeah.
Now there's opportunities now. That same class, I'm not handicapped based on space, and I'm not
Hmm.
handicapped based on numbers either. So it's different. Or equipment. So I don't even have the travel time or the equipment. So it's different. So there's a new element that my business has been created just by COVID, I guess you could say.
Huh, that's great. It's interesting.
Mm.
Okay. So is there anything else you want to tell people about Omni-Fitt at this point?
Gosh, what else could I say? Yeah, I would say the biggest thing I could probably say to people is that um, I was speaking to somebody yesterday, and it's how important it is for people to take care of themselves. If you want to, it's not just about length of life, But one thing that I would say, the more thing that I'm more interested in more than anything else is quality of life, quality of life. So I would say Omni-Fitt is a business all focused on improving people's quality of life, not just their length of life. And I would say that's probably the biggest thing that I want to tell or get across to people.
That's great. Well, thanks so much. I really appreciate chatting with you this morning and learning more about Omni-Fitt. And I wish you all the success you can have in 2023.
I appreciate that, and much appreciated.